Hello Internet, Dave here, and another Let's Build for a Warhammer model. Today I had to specifically order these ones in to be built. We're building Kroxigors. Look at that, some nice Kroxigors. Now I'm going to take these out of the box for you. As you can probably already see, they are a different texture to the normal plastic models that you've seen, as these are the special fine cast models. I am going to look forward to be building these, so let's start the build.
Since spawning, it is rare for more than a handful of Kroxigors to enter the world at the same time. They emerge from the same spawning pools as the skinks, which may go some way to explain why the two species share another common affinity. Like skinks, Kroxigors are at home in the water, able to move at speed through waterways or swamps. As they continue to develop, these lizardmen can grow so large that they can rival even the mighty Kroxigor in sheer size, aggression, and stubbornness. Between tasks, Kroxigor prefer to submerge themselves in waterholes, leaving only the top of their heads visible. In this way, not only do they have the beasts cool off, but they have a chance of surprising their next meal. When not geared towards warfare, the Kroxigors provide an essential and vital role amongst their smaller skink cousins. During times of peace and massive construction work, the skinks, due to their frail and small stature, unable to complete the tasks required extreme strength to accomplish. Instead, when not using massive beasts of burden to haul heavy goods and materials in place, the Kroxigors offer the medium between the weaker skinks and the larger yet duller-witted lizard beasts. Able to understand orders far better than most jungle creatures, the Kroxigors are often assigned the task of labouring heavy equipment or goods anywhere their smaller skink relatives might have need of them. During times of war, units of Kroxigor are used as shock troops to batter the enemy battle lines. Kroxigors do not always fight by themselves, however. Skinks tend to swarm around the Kroxigors, encouraged by the awesome power of these mighty creatures. They form up around the trunk-like legs of the Kroxigor, which tower above them. For their part, the Kroxigors are likewise attracted to the masses of skinks, as their high-pitched sounds and energetic movements simulate their own energy and fuel their own battle rage. In combat, such formations prove unusually effective, with the skinks able to pepper foe with poison-tipped javelins before crashing headlong into combat. There, the skinks provide natural, innumerable fast jabs with their skittish nature, is characterized summarized by the large presence among them. In turn, they are backed up by the crushing power provided by the mighty Kroxigor. Because of their massive frames, the Kroxigor can easily reach over any intervening skink, allowing the reptilian giants to pump more than just their share of any foe. While Kroxigors are quite able to rip a man apart with their bare hands to enhance their destructive potential, skinks supply them with weapons. Each ornate club is taller than a Saurus warrior and requires a dozen skinks to lift. The Kroxigors swing these massive death-dealing instruments with ease, able to shatter a man-sized creature beyond all recognition, with a weighty blow that can shatter stone. Once the fighting is stopped, however, it is not uncommon for Kroxigors to simply drop their weapons and continue with another appointed task. They were not made for remembering details for any length of time, and for this reason, some skinks would secure the weapons to the Kroxigor itself, using lengths of bronze chain. Even the most forgetful beast would therefore drag his weapon behind him to the next engagement. the Kroxigor forms one of the core species of the lizardman race, crafted by the old ones, and as strong and as obedient construction workers, labourers, and in times of war, the most powerful of warriors. All around there were noises and activity from the gangs of small lizard creatures scuttling around on various tasks. Massive blocks of carved stone were being dragged up a vast ramp. On one side, a tall, steeped building. Huge creatures were bearing the strain of the ropes, while the smaller ones directed the work. Extract from the voyage of Yin Ting to Lustria. Worse still, at times, the small race fights alongside these troll-sized reptilian men, hunking beasts that can tear a man in two with their 2 hands mauled. I am sure such beasts could shove insides of a ship with a few blows. From the logbook of Vasquera Cornetas, military captain of the Tentor. I have decided to paint these lizardmen with these following cathedral paints. For the body, I have just done a base of the fang. For the armor on the back, I did a base of Caliban green, followed by a layer of moot green. And then for the shade, I used a Atomicide camo shade, just to give it that bit of dark edging. For the weapons, I've used Glimmers Gold and Hashdunt Copper, both flare paints. For the teeth, I used a Dab Grey, and for the weapons shafts, the stick bits if you will, I used Rhinox Hide, the base paint. The reason I decided to build myself some Kroxigors to add to my Lizardman army is that it didn't have much of a impact front. Plus, been playing a bit of Warhammer 40k lately, and giant monsters are all the rage there. Not to mention as well Total War Warhammer 2, where you get to play as the Lizardmen, and there's nothing more satisfying in that game than watching Kroxigors smash into the line of your opponent's troops. Be that swordsman, swordsmen go flying, rat Skaven slaves, oh, it's always fun, as well as dark elves and other such races. The sheer strength of these guys is unbelievable. I thoroughly enjoyed the painting and building of these creatures, which I did off the screen. I know the build isn't exactly that long, and I'm still getting used to the whole plastic glue, the super glue thing. Oh, super glue, it sticks to your fingers, I tell you that now. It is very, very complicated to get right. Anyway, I'm coming to the end of this build, just doing a few final adjustments there to these guys. One more weapon left, here it is. As you can see, I went with the axe as the descending weapon, and the 2 Kroxigors on either side have the long sort of sweeping spear, I'm going to call it, and the giant round hammer, because it is just a giant round hammer. And I did thoroughly enjoy this build. I hope you did too. They're ready to be showcased.
And they are fully built and painted, the Kroxigors. As you can see, the beautiful models have been done to at least a tabletop standard, with shading and layering, detail work that I've done on the scales and indeed the weaponry as well. I've done all 3 of them, each one having a different head position, of course having different weapons, some of the armor, the gold and the bronzes on them, the tails all stack on correctly and everything like that, different colour for the claws, and of course the teeth and the eyes. Of course, the one that's going to smite and crush everyone beneath him, this chap, who I am going to call Bert. Bert with his giant axe, armored tail, and jaws ready to rip open the foes of the Lizardmen. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you do, leave a like and subscribe. Comment if you will. Until the next one, this is Dave, building the Lizardmen.